Donald Trump just had the worst interview of his political career, and I'm not exaggerating. He was participating in this panel interview at the National Association of Black Journalists conference that was taking place in Chicago today, and he was being asked questions by 3 different black journalists. And the questions they were asking him were very fair, but he couldn't answer them. He snapped. He attacked the journalists. He attacked the questions. He attacked the crowd, and then went straight forward into conspiracies. It was a complete disaster. And right now, as we speak, the Trump campaign is trying to play a little bit of cleanup. So I have some clips from this interview to show you. They're all very shocking and all very terrible. The first clip I want to show you is actually the first question he was asked by these journalists during this interview. So take a look at that clip.
Mr. President, we so appreciate you giving us an hour of your time. I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabid to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country.
Yeah, wow. So look, first and foremost, that's journalist Rachel Scott from ABC News, and I just want to take a moment to appreciate what she just did right there. That is real journalism. Those are the questions that Donald Trump should be asked, and she asked it without fear of what Donald Trump will do or what his campaign will say. That's real journalism. So I thank her for holding him accountable, along with other journalists on that panel right there. I mean, really, really well done. But second of all, what a disaster. I mean, what a terrible answer from Donald Trump. Look, he has this terrible record when it comes to race, when it comes to people of color, specifically black people. I mean, he dined with a white supremacist at Mar-a-Lago. He told women of color who are congresswomen to go back to where they came from, as the journalist just said right there, among many other things that Donald Trump has either said or done. And now he's trying to do birtherism with Kamala Harris, as he did with Barack Obama, the first black president and the first black woman vice president. So he has a long history with this stuff. And instead of engaging with that very fair question, instead of saying, you know what, I probably shouldn't have done those things and I apologize and, I've grown from them. Instead of, being sincere, Donald Trump says, no, I won't do that. Let's attack the journalist instead. That's a better strategy. Let's attack the network that she works for, saying, oh, it's fake news. What a terrible question, this or that. And I'm sorry, why is Donald Trump upset? She is citing things he has either done or said. These are things he has done or said. You can Google them and verify them if you'd like. This is Donald Trump's record, and he's upset that he's being asked a fair question about his record. I mean, it is ridiculous. This guy is a child stuck in a grown man's body. He is so immature, so insecure that he can't even sit down for an hour, which this was scheduled to be, and answer some questions honestly. He has to go into tirades of saying, well, you asked me a question that wasn't nice, so I'm going to attack you and I'm going to attack your network. It is pathetic. It is pathetic that this is the best option the Republicans have. This is their guy. A guy who can't even answer a question. A guy who's being asked a fair question in front of black journalists. He's saying, well, why do you want black people's vote if you're saying all these things? You got to reconcile those two, and he just refuses to do so. It is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Now, kind of a nice transition right there in terms of Donald Trump's racism and his record of racism. He decides to participate in more racism at this conference because he was asked about Vice President Kamala Harris and Republicans labeling her as a DEI hire, which is objectively very wrong, very disgusting. And he goes on to say that Kamala Harris, according to him, became a black person a couple of years ago. That she wasn't a black person, she just became one. Yeah, insane. Take a look.
Move on to other questions here. Some of your own supporters, including Republicans on Capitol Hill, have labeled Vice President Kamala Harris, who is the first Black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president and be on a major party ticket, as a DEI hire. Is that acceptable language to you? And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define
diversity, equity, inclusion?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that what your definition?
That is
give me a
literally
definition
the words
then. Would you give me a definition
DEI.
of that? Give me a definition of
Sir,
that.
I'm asking you a question,
No,
a
you
very
have to
direct
define
question.
it. Define it for me, if you would.
I just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much, and she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always
But you know
identified
what?
as a black woman.
I
She went to a
respect
historically
either
black
one.
college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn, and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe
I
that
think
she is
somebody should look into that too when you ask continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
Wow. Wow. I mean, is that not just one of the most disgusting things you've seen? That is so incredibly reprehensible. It's incredibly racist. It's just disgusting. It is just disgusting. I wouldn't expect anything less from Donald Trump, but he's being very open about his hate now. He's not even trying to hide it. He's being very open about how he feels about people that look different than him, people who speak different than him, people who love different than him. He's being very open about his hate. Now, the White House has actually already responded to Donald Trump's claims about Vice President Kamala Harris, saying this. The White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, replied, "What he just said, what you just read out to me, is repulsive. It's insulting. She is the Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris. We have to put some respect on her name." Great statement. The Kamala Harris campaign also put out a statement saying, on your screen of the entire interview, saying the hostility Donald Trump showed on stage today is the same hostility he's shown throughout his life, throughout his term in office, and throughout his campaign for president as he seeks to regain power and inflict his harmful Project 2025 agenda on the American people. Trump lobbed personal attacks and insults at black journalists the same way he did throughout his presidency, while he failed black families and left the entire country digging out of the ditch he left us in. Donald Trump has also proven he cannot unite America, so he attempts to divide us. And of course, there's more in the statement. But the most important thing here is that Donald Trump doesn't understand that Kamala Harris is biracial. She's biracial. Does he not know what that is? Does he not understand what that is? One of her parents is of Southern Asian descent, and one of her parents is of Jamaican descent. She has always been proud and identified as of having Asian heritage and, of course, black heritage, being a black and Indian woman. She's always been honest about that her entire career. But I guess Donald Trump hasn't done enough research on the person he's running against to know that. What an offensive comment to talk about Kamala Harris's identity, making assumptions about her identity, saying that somehow her identity is something evil, that she's used it in a nefarious way and she's just kind of making it up as she goes. What a disgusting statement from Donald Trump. It really shows you the man that he is. And as we mentioned earlier, and as the journalists have mentioned earlier, Rachel Scott, he has done this his entire career. When there is someone who is of a different origin, identity than he is, whether it be Barack Obama, who's a black American, whether it be Nikki Haley, or now Vice President Kamala Harris, who, as we just mentioned, has a parent of Southern Asian descent, a parent of Jamaican descent, if they do not look like him and they don't come from the same place he did, he will insult them. He will insult their identity. He'll say that they're making it up, just as he did with Barack Obama. It is disgusting. This guy is unfit to be president of the United States. He's not interested in representing all Americans. He's interested in representing Americans that look like him. Just an awful display from Donald Trump. But look, the final clip I want to show you is Donald Trump was asked about pardoning January 6th insurrectionists, if he would pardon people who beat cops. And his answer is insane. Take a look.
What's going to happen to those people? What's going to happen to the people in Portland that destroyed that city?
But sir, my question is on those.
What's going to happen to
my
the people
question is
that
on
tried
those
to
rioters who assaulted officers.
You have to
would you pardon
what's
those
going to
people?
happen? Oh, absolutely, I would.
You would pardon those?
If they're innocent, I would pardon them.
They've been convicted.
And by the way, the Supreme Court just well. They were convicted by a very tough system. How come the people that tried to burn down Minneapolis, how come the people that took over a large percentage of Seattle, how come nothing happened to them? How come the people
sir, we're talking about people that were seen beating officers with flagpoles, dragging them down the stairs. They're on video. Have you seen that video, sir?
Oh, really? Well,
you would pardon those rioters?
They shot a young lady in the face who was protesting. They shot her in the face. You know,
Another really terrible answer from Donald Trump. I mean, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Look, here's the thing. For your average American, your normal person, your logical American, we're going to say, of course, no January 6th insurrectionists should be pardoned. They trespassed, they beat cops, they did awful things that day. They should serve their time in prison, right? That's your average everyday American. But Donald Trump doesn't believe that. The Republicans do not believe that. Donald Trump thinks that these people who beat cops on his behalf, they broke windows and invaded the Capitol on his behalf, they threatened to kill members of Congress on his behalf, are good people. If they commit crime for him, they're okay. If he commits crime for him, then he's okay. There's no consequence there and no accountability for these folks either. Donald Trump doesn't believe in the rule of law if you are breaking the law for him. That's what it is. The Trump campaign right now is running on platforming criminals. The entire Republican Party is a party of platforming criminals. Donald Trump wants to pardon January 6th insurrectionists, even those who beat cops. Donald Trump himself is a criminal. Peter Navarro, former Trump administration official, went to federal prison, got out. On the same day he got out, he spoke at the RNC. So the Republican Party is just such a mess right now. And just to be clear, Trump is running on pardoning these people. That's part of his campaign. Now, if you don't want these January 6th insurrectionists out on the street and not serving their time like anybody else in the criminal justice system, then don't vote for Trump. It's very simple. If you care about rule of law and law and order, you're going to vote for the Democratic Party all the way down the ballot, starting with Vice President Kamala Harris all the way down to your state legislator. That's what it is. That's the truth. That's what we got to do. What a disaster. What a disaster. So, and the final thing I would just want to show you super quickly is the fact that Trump's appearance at the event today was supposed to be an hour. He got pulled off of the stage at 35 minutes into the interview. 25 minutes early, his campaign, his handlers took him off the stage because they knew how bad this interview was going. Is that not embarrassing? What a coward. He can't sit there for an entire hour and answer questions. This is why he doesn't want to debate VP Kamala Harris. Now we know, because it's going to go exactly like this. Anyway, I'll leave it there. What a mess. Thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate you being here. I'm excited to hear what you have to say in the comments about this mess, this disaster today. Make sure to subscribe down below. We're approaching 90,000 subscribers, which is crazy. So it would really go such a long way. It means a lot. Also drop a like in the video, all that good stuff. And as I always say, I greatly appreciate you and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.